Dear admission committee, I would like to use this opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Wasim Afzal. I am an enthusiastic student hailing from Pakistan. I am interested in getting accepted in Edinburgh Napier University in course of MSc Applied Forensic Psychology. I would like to mention a few things about why I choose this course and why I specifically choose Edinburgh Napier University for that relevant course. So as a psychology student, I have faced countless instances where I have seen that the criminal mind can outclass a foolproof security and do their ancestor task diligently. And on the other hand, I have seen the cases in which people are framed into the situation where they are entirely innocent. So actually, the basic reason behind this, why I choose this university and why I choose this course is that in Pakistan, forensic psychology is not even a course, and we are not discussing this on our higher education. We don't discuss about forensic psychology. We have no legal department in Pakistan which hires forensic psychologists to do their legal works. So there are multiple reasons behind this that from my previous life I can want to discuss these things. There are so many families in Pakistan who was devastated due to false allegation outcomes. Me and my family is also a victim of this false allegation, and I have seen so many cases where the people are framed into a situation with the entirely innocent. So there is no legal way, there is no pattern through which we can differentiate between two persons, that who is the criminal and who is innocent. Well, I would like to mention a story about my life which triggered me, which gave me a passion to go for this course. Is that in my family, my father got abducted on false allegation a few years back, and he got released after no criminal offense. So that was the first traumatic thing and first depressive thing for our family, which gave me insights to look into this matter. And as a student of psychology, I have seen this, not my family, there are so many other families who are facing the same thing in Pakistan. So being a student of psychology, I am interested from beginning of my educational career to study things more profoundly, to study about criminal minds. I have in this first 7th semester, I have studied a course of forensic psychology by our supervisor and by our head of department, Dr. Salma Hassan, which gave me a really brief introduction about what is forensic psychology and how we can implicate these strategies in our social life, in our daily life. So this was the first step I took toward the forensic psychology. And after that, I have read books and have seen season about this, which gave me more and more information about this profession. I would like to mention two books here which I preferably like most in all of the books written on forensic psychology. First book by forensic psychology named by David V. Conrad, and this book gave me a really good introduction and brief description of this course. And after that, I hope you all have heard about the book is Mind Hunter by J. Douglas. So this book is also my favorite book regarding forensic psychology. And I have also studied so many articles about forensic psychology in international journals, which give me insight, which give me information about this course on daily basis and new things that are introducing, which are preferably introducing these days about this course. Well, now I want to discuss about why I specifically choose Edinburgh Napier University for MSc Applied Forensic Psychology. There are multiple reasons behind this. I have making comparison of different universities with this university, which end up in choosing this Edinburgh Napier University. So being a graduate from Government College University Lahore, foreign education is a new thing for me. I have searched a lot on websites. Have heard about the information from a friend, from consultants to choose the right one. Well, I have applied in two universities. One is Derby University, another is Roehampton University, and third one is Napier Edinburgh University. So the reason behind choosing this university specifically is that the course MSc Applied Forensic Psychology is associated with British Psychological Society. I'm also a member of British Psychological Society, so this gives me an assurance that the education I'm going to pursue in this university is going to be more beneficial for my future planning. So this is the this reason is behind this choice. So there are other reasons as well there, because I want to discuss about this university, how I feel like this is where I can get my knowledge about this course more preferably rather than be doing in another job. Like in Derby University, it's not accredited with British Psychological Society, where I'm a little bit confused and didn't choose this one. I chose this Edinburgh Napier University for my further planning. So well, after making my decision about Edinburgh Napier University, I have searched a lot about this university to make sure that the decision I have made that it's really a good one. So I have searched that Edinburgh Napier University is situated in the heart of capital city Edinburgh, and I am amazed by seeing its international ranking, and I have also seen that the connection with different organizations of this university is a milestone for me to start a professional life as a forensic psychologist. Like the staff they have, they are already working in some prisons in Scotland. They have connection with the British Psychological Society. They have connection in all over the UK. So this gives me assurance that I will learn few new things about this course. I will learn few new things about my profession by a different and new way. I would like to mention about this university that practical related work this university is providing. So I will gain the professional work as well by studying during my study years. I will learn about different organizations which are working for rehabilitation of prisoners, which are working for rehabilitation of juvenile prisoners. I have said that checked that most of the staff of this university of applied forensic psychology are associated with different organizations in Scotland. So this gave me a profoundly new way to think about new interventions in forensic psychology, and I hope that after studying there I will be perform well in my professional life. Well, let's talk about my second question is, do I have any work experience related to this field? Well, I would like to mention that during my final semester I have a discussion topic of transition of a woman into a killer. So this research thesis is based on interviews, semi-structured interviews, and we have to conduct these interviews in prison. So this was my first experience as a researcher to do interview of a convicted in custody. So it was quite fascinating for me, because when I first go there I have feel that I don't know about anything about this course and I don't know how to conduct an interview. But our associate professor was with us, and she gave us a very learning about that, how to conduct the interview, how to ask a question, and how to check the face expression of a person who is giving the interview. So these all things give me a new side to look into the questions, look into the answers, and this interview provide us information that new ways to conducting interviews in prisons and how to do this. And this experience helped me to learn about different strategies, and this experience helped me to learn new methods in conducting interview, and I enjoyed the human interaction as a researcher. And I hope that this experience gave me knowledge that no literature could. So I really believe on that by doing this research I am well capable of doing interviews in the prisons again, and I will do that definitely, because being a forensic psychologist will be my task as a future profession. So I will do that. Well, by doing this work I learned major theories about crimes, and I reviewed literature about the crimes, and I have learned that the research could be a time-consuming thing, and how to manage a time during an interview, and how to ask the question more confidently to any convicted who is in front of us. So this helped me a lot, and this experience, I hope that this experience is the first one, but it's given me a really good information about forensic psychology and how to interact with humans. Well, let's talk about the next question, is that what research I have done previously about this topic, about forensic psychology. Well, in my final semester, I have to start taking interest in female murders, which led us to choose a topic of transition of women into a killer in context of Punjabi culture. Well, the aim of this study to explore the transition of women into killer and what are the causes behind that. This study based on qualitative interviews, data was analyzed through thematic analysis and a purposive sample of 2 participants were taken and the semi-structured interview were conducted consisted of 15 to 20 questions. Analysis resulted in 5 major themes which mention that the women are no longer just a caring and nurturing character. They are finding their way to express their aggression through brutal ways. So this research changed the basic perception about the personality of women and a stereotypical pattern about this woman personality in our culture. This study have far-reaching implications for forensic psychologists, and it's also highlight the neglected part of female personality. Well, let's talk about the next question, that how would I feel about engaging in reflective practices. So reflective practices are an effective way to perform well in his professional life, who is working in a challenging environment. As a student of forensic psychology, I would eagerly insist to involve in reflective practices to perform well in his professional life. So I would like to mention this because forensic psychology is going to be my profession, and it's a demanding and challenging profession as well. It will involve us to involve with the clients who have history of abuse and damages which are going to be demanding and disturbing experience for us. So for that thing we need to involve in reflective practices to at least differentiate between our professional life and our personal life. Thinking about the own thinking, it's called metacognition in psychology, will help a person to do his work professionally well and do his personal life perfectly well. So this is actually a good way to perform well in a challenging environment as a forensic psychologist. Well, I would like to mention a story of my colleague who is working as a clinical psychologist in prisons. As he mentioned that when he first started taking interviews of criminals who have killed children, it was a disturbing experience for him, because he was always dreaming about this. He don't know how to deal with this purpose, and when he met with his senior, the senior had advised him to do reflective practices about this so he can differentiate about the things. Well, reflective practices help a person to perform well in his professional life, to work closely with the clients and in the challenging environment, and it also will help a person to deal with ethical consideration of his profession, because during some clinical professions a person sometimes got depressed by the client's stories, by the client outcomes, which are not a good thing for a professional person. So I believe that by doing reflective practices a person can perform well in personal life and in professional life as well, because it's going to help him to think about things more profoundly. Well, let's talk about the next question, that how I'm going to manage my physical and mental health during my stay in Edinburgh. I would like to mention that previously in my undergraduation I have a thing that called time management, and this is something that I can say that going to help me a lot to maintain both things. I have a routine of getting up early in the morning and do cycling and do some exercise to stay physically healthy. Well, cycling is the best and better way for me to do this. And another thing I would like to mention, that I always in the morning I'll do yoga to keep myself calm. Well, managing my day is the best way to do all the things as according to timetable. So I always in the getting up in the early in the morning and making a timetable of my day, which help me to manage things more realistically. And I do this and every day, and on Saturday, Sunday, I would like to go on some vacations, which will kind of going to park and play some games with friends. So which will help me to stay healthy and physically calm, mentally calm. So Another thing I would like to mention that I have a keen interest in studying philosophy. So this is my interest, and during my spare time, I usually read books which help me a lot to think about things and to think about environment and world. And this is also a kind of physical and mental activity for me to do this, because philosophy will help a person to think about things, to think about the environment, and to think about the other peoples as well. So I would like to say that this is how I'm going to manage all my thing during my stay in Edinburgh. Well, let's talk about the last question, that how MSc is going to fit my future plan. So I have a bigger vision associated with my degree program, to learn about forensic psychology and to bring betterment into my society in Pakistan. I have seen that in Pakistan, I have already mentioned in my previous conversation that in Pakistan we don't have any rehabilitation center, we don't have anything related to forensic psychology as in a professional legal way. So the prison rehabilitation program which I want to mention here is practically do not exist in Pakistan. So after completing my degree and professional experience in Edinburgh Napier University, I will bring this change into my society, and that's how I'm going to say that this program is going to be really helpful for me to make my future bright and make my dreams true. So I have seen that in multiple surveys and independent reports that they have mentioned that in Pakistan the prisons are most of the time are violating human rights, and this is something we should need to concern about, and this is something which our government also need to concern about. So there are several other person who is doing researches and publishing paper about that we need forensic psychologists in legal department as an expert eyewitness. We need forensic psychologists in rehabilitation center to help the people who have a life ahead. I can say that after completing my degree from Edinburgh Napier University, I will come back to Pakistan and start a rehabilitation center here, especially for the juvenile prisoners who have a life ahead. So in Pakistan, if a person have any conviction of crime, they consider him as a stigma. So this is my concern, that the person who have once have any kind of conviction of crime will lead a better life after doing rehabilitation in any rehabilitation firm. So my future planning is to start a rehabilitation center in Pakistan for juvenile prisoner and for the other prisoner as well. So I hope that after completing my degree, this will going to help me to pursue my career and to pursue my profession. So this is all I can say about this, and I am waiting for a positive response from your side, and thank you very much for your time. Thank you.